Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali and here I just talk to myself about books and then someone, maybe you, may not watch this at a later date. You may have seen in some previous videos that I have a very large physical TBR to try and get through. I've decided I'm going to be a little bit more disciplined with my book buying and just stick to like pre-orders, the ones I've been looking forward to all year, as well as my monthly subscription boxes, and try and clear some of the TBR. So let's pick my June TBR. Okay, so for this month, I've decided to put all of the books I have into a little TBR wheel, which I'm going to be spinning. I have added a couple of mood read wedges because I do also enjoy mood reading, and I will give myself 2 vetoes if I really don't fancy reading the book that is picked. So I think I have about 140 books on the wheel, which is a lot, and I do have a couple already that I will be reading next month anyway because of book clubs and stuff. So I'll go through those first and then we can get started on picking the June TBR with the wheel. So first of all, a book I already have on the TBR for June is The Woman Who Lied by Claire Douglas. This is for the Waterstones book club. I wasn't there when this was picked, but I presume probably the genre pick was mystery because this is a murder mystery of a best-selling crime writer who gets kind of embroiled in a real life crime mystery or murder mystery. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of like misery vibes, but not, I guess, because maybe she doesn't get kidnapped. It's not really something I would pick up by myself, but as I've said, I joined the Waterstones book club because I want to try and read a few more genres and also just discuss different types of books with different people, which I think would be quite fun. So this is on my TBR. Let me know if you've read this and what you thought about it if you have. Next book I'll be reading in June is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. This came as part of the April Illumicrate, and I've been really looking forward to reading this, and myself and my friends who also have a Illumicrate subscription have decided we want to try and read this before the end of June, so I will be picking this up. It's quite a weighty one, but it sounds so good. I'm very excited and I've heard really good things about it. So this is obviously a fantasy. I don't know if it's YA or adult, and I don't know if it's the start of a series or a standalone, but I'm very excited. It's kind of got warriors, I think it's got academia in it and things like that, so I'm very much looking forward to this. Okay, so now time of truth. I'm not sure how many to pick because I really vary with how much I read in the summer. I don't really have any annual leave in June, so I think maybe with those 2 books as well, given that Raven Scholar is quite large, I'm going to maybe pick 5 books off this and hopefully then read more. But let's go with the first book. I don't know if this is going to be backwards for you guys, but let's spin. Okay, The Gods Below by Andrew Stewart. So I was really planning on reading her other series, finishing off her other series before I continued this one. So what I might do is actually substitute this book with the second book in the Bone Shard Daughter series because I don't actually currently own that as a physical book, but I could. Although the point of this is to try and clear my physical TBR a little bit. I don't know. Okay, we'll be reading that one then. 1 second. Okay, so this is The Gods Below by Andrew Stewart. This is the Goldsborough special edition and it is both signed and numbered. So I've got number 728 out of 750. I did really enjoy The Bone Shard Daughter, but I haven't finished that trilogy yet. So I will put this on my TBR for now. However, I might substitute it for The Bone Shard Emperor, which is the second one in that series. But I will quickly read the blurb for this one. This is a new epic fantasy series by Andrea Stewart. Came out towards the tail end of 2024, I believe. After a divine war shattered the world, humanity struck a pact with the god Llewellyn. In return for a regular tribute of magical gems, Cluenin would restore the world to its former glory. But as each land is transformed, so too are its people, changed into strange new forms if they survive at all. Hekara is not willing to pay such a price. Desperate to protect herself and her sister Rasha, she flees her homeland for the safety of a neighbouring kingdom. But tragedy strikes when they're separated, and Hekara is forced to abandon Rasha to an unknown fate. Yet, when Hekara discovers that she can channel the power of magical gems, she's invited to join a clandestine plot to destroy the God Pact. To win Hekara to their cause, the conspirators reveal a startling secret. Rasha's alive and they can help rescue her, but only if Hekara goes to war against a god. So, I mean, it does sound really, really good, which is why I got the Goldsboro Special Edition as well. But yes, I'll see. I'll see whether I do this or try and finish off that series first, because that one is the first one she wrote chronologically, but excited for this one. Okay, next book on the TBR. I don't know why it's not done the film, but I've got Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. That is exciting, actually. I've been meaning to read something by Brandon Sanderson, so let me just go grab it. So this is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. This is one of his special projects that he did last year or the year before, and it's a standalone, which is also the reason why I decided to start with some of these instead of like diving straight into Mistborn, because I'm terrified of how many books there are in the Brandon Sanderson universe. But this one sounded really good. I'm also obsessed with the cover, and yes, I did let the cover, you know, guide me a little bit, but this sounds super interesting. So there is a world, one of endless night, surrounded by an even deeper darkness. Filled with nightmares come to life, twisted shapes that slink to windows and ease open doors, sliding across the floors and to look down on helpless faces. There is another world, a bright world, so bright it burns, filled with stacked stones that call forth miracles, raised by calloused hands that tremble in their work, drained with each stone lifted, settled and lifted again. Between these two worlds, two souls connect, collide and entwine. A bridge, a path, a road to both worlds changing forever, or their complete destruction. Sounds super good. I've heard really, really good things about this as well. I mean, to be fair, I've never heard anything bad about anything Brandon Sanderson's written, but I think because this is a standalone, it's definitely a good one to start with. Okay, next book. The Long View. I'm going to veto that one because I don't fancy a non-fiction right now. At least not that kind of non-fiction. But that is a book that my brother got me from the Science Museum, and it's kind of all about like how we perceive time and how like the way we view time needs to change as the world changes, I think. But I'm not in the mood for that, so I am gonna veto it. Let's spin again. Seven Fallen Feathers. Oh, okay, I'm really excited for this one. This is also a non-fiction, but a different kind of non-fiction, and one I am kind of excited to read. Okay, so this is Seven Fallen Feathers by Tanya Talaga. This is a book I picked up while I was in Canada that was recommended by the booksellers in the indie bookshop I visited, because I was looking for some Indigenous or First Nations authors and kind of wanted to read a little bit more about ones especially that had kind of been born and grew up in Canada. So this one is a non-fiction book basically about, well, racism, death and hard truths in a northern city. So I'll read the quick blurb. So from 2000 to 2011, 7 Indigenous high school students died in Thunder Bay, Ontario. They were hundreds of kilometres away from their families, forced to leave home because there was no adequate high school on their reserves. 5 were found dead in the rivers surrounding Lake Superior below a sacred Indigenous site. Using a sweeping narrative focusing on the lives of the students, award-winning investigative journalist Tanya Talaga delves into the history of this northern city that has come to manifest Canada's long struggle with human rights violations against Indigenous communities. So, I mean, this doesn't sound like an easy read by any stretch of the imagination, but it does sound really interesting, and I definitely want to read this. I've also said time and time again that I love investigative journalism type writing, so I'm very much looking forward to this. Okay, so I think I've got 2 more picks. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, Elantris. That's also by Brandon Sanderson. So this is another standalone by Brandon Sanderson, but a older one. It's not part of a special project. It's one he did quite a while ago. I don't know how long ago. Say a long time ago. But I am obsessed with like these tiny like 80s style versions of fantasy books, and the Brandon Sanderson ones, like the US Canada editions, are just stunning. However, I could not bring myself to buy one in the Mistborn series because I wouldn't be able to then get the matching version, so I decided to pick this one up, which is a standalone, and yeah, it sounds really good. Elantris was the city of the gods. What power could have cursed it? Raiden, Prince of Arelon, was loved by all, including the princess he'd never met. Where has he gone? Harathan, High Priest of Fjordell, will convert the people of Arelon or kill them. How will he decide? And Serene, Princess of Teod, was a widow before she was even married. Who can stand against her? It doesn't really have much more of a blurb than that, so, but it does sound really good. I looked it up online before I bought it and it does sound interesting, so I guess we'll be doing a Brandon Sanderson month. And last pick. The Daughter of No Worlds. I kind of want to read that entire series, so I suppose I could just put it all on here and be very, very optimistic that I'll be able to binge the entire series in June. So I wouldn't be me if I wasn't a bit over the top with my choices. So yes, so we picked out Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, who is the author who did the Serpent and the Wings of Night duology, and then all the kind of novellas and follow-on books that are now coming out. This is her other series that she wrote and indie published, which is now being additionally published. I knew this was going to happen, so I managed to snag the indie covers, and I'm so glad I did because I don't like the new ones, but these are stunning and I'm so happy I managed to grab them. So this is Daughter of No Worlds. It is a trilogy. I'll quickly read the blurb. So, a life in slavery taught Tizana how to survive with nothing but sharp eye, a quick mind and a touch of magic. But the night she tried to buy her freedom, she nearly paid with her life. Instead, she murdered the most powerful man in Thrall. Forced to flee, she has only one chance at saving those she left behind, pledging herself to the Orders, an organisation of magic wielders strong enough to destroy her former masters. So I don't want to read the entire blurb because it's quite long, but this sounds super good. I've heard nothing but good things about this series. I've heard it's even better than The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I'm very excited about. And because I am extra, I've decided to add the entire trilogy to my TBR for June, which I'm very excited about. I have been trying to like get through completed series. What I might do is actually, if I don't manage to finish this, or if I don't have enough time, I might swap out The Gods Below to try and finish this instead, just because that it would be starting another series where I still have another one to finish by that same author. So yeah, I will be adding all the trilogy. So that is Daughter of No Worlds, Children of Fallen Gods, and Mother of Death and Dawn. And these are the stunning indie paperback covers. So these are all the books, oh gosh, it's heavy. These are all the books I've picked out to read in June. It's by no means a light month, but it's in weight and in, I guess, vibes. I might end up, depending on how many of these I get through, adding something a little bit lighter to the pile to try and break these up a little bit, but it just depends how I get on. Super excited for all of these. Very good pick. So thank you, Wheel, and maybe I'll utilise that for July as well. Unknown. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please pop a like. If you have read any of these books and you loved them, hated them, please let me know down below. And if you would like to see more, please do subscribe. See you soon.